Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I'm back again with another Walking Dead video, and this one is actually going to be over cigarette symbolism in The Walking Dead, and what is the meaning behind it. And I know that some people may think that the ideas that I'm going to bring forth in the next few minutes might be stretching it. However, I don't believe that is true, and I have some reasoning as to why. As we all know, if you watch The Walking Dead and you've seen the episodes, we see a lot of cigarettes with Carol and Daryl. The use of cigarettes go back very far with the group, but one of the points to where I remember to where they were starting to use cigarettes a lot and it felt like it was going to mean something was back in season 5, and that's when Daryl and Carol were on their own, and there was a lot of use of cigarettes, and I just want to show one image of Daryl smoking. And in the background, it showed Carol in behind the flame of Daryl lighting the cigarette. Now, in the episode titled The Same Boat, there was something similar to this, to where I think the old woman named Molly, she was smoking, and it showed Carol in behind the smoke coming from the cigarette. And that was sort of a parallel to me. It felt like a callback, and I thought it was really interesting. And then I started talking with some people, and the people I'm talking to asked me why. Why do they keep using these cigarettes? And they wanted to know what my thoughts were on it, and that got me thinking, and then I realized this is actually pretty awesome. Given Carol's recent opposition to killing, and how killing has had a great effect on her to where she doesn't want to do it anymore, the cigarettes start forming to mean something and represent something, such as if they are symbolism. And what I'm talking about here is that I think the cigarettes symbolize death. Just like how Carol told Miss Neutermeyer, I think it was in episode 2 titled JSS, that those things will kill you when she was talking about cigarettes. Later on in that episode, the wolves ended up killing Miss Neutermeyer, and it felt like symbolism. And then if we move on further into the episode, at the end it shows Carol sitting on the steps, she's sort of crying, and she's smoking a cigarette. And I knew this represented something, but I couldn't really grasp the complete idea at that moment. In my opinion, these use of cigarettes represent the symbolism of Carol having to kill people and then Carol dropping that idea and choosing not to kill. Such as when she killed the wolves in JSS, she picks up the cigarette and starts to smoke it, and the cigarette symbolizes death, therefore showing that she had to kill a bunch of people to save the people in the group. Now, if we move on with this idea, given the more recent episodes, such as The Same Boat, Carol ends up having to kill all of the saviors at the factory. Now, in that episode, there was also the use of cigarettes. The woman named Molly was smoking, like I mentioned earlier. Towards Carol's beginning conversation with Molly at the factory, Carol asked her to stop smoking because Maggie was pregnant, and then further on in the episode, Molly sort of laughs at Carol and calls her a hypocrite, basically because she asked for a cigarette. And this represents the idea of her choosing to kill once again, and it foreshadowed the fact that she had to kill those saviors. Interestingly enough, Carol says almost the same exact thing that she told Miss Neutermeyer. She tells Molly that those things will kill her, and then Molly returns a statement by saying they already have, and then showing her the bloody rag that she had been coughing in. And this also represents the idea of death. In addition to that, towards the end of the episode, we get the part where Carol lights up a cigarette, she starts smoking, and then she throws it onto the kill floor filled with gasoline, and that ends up killing the saviors as well, once again representing the idea of Carol picking up the cigarettes, representing the idea that she has chosen the life in that moment to still keep killing to protect her group. In the episode titled Not Tomorrow Yet, there was also a similar situation involving cigarettes and Carol. Carol was outside of the porch with Tobin and she was smoking, and then she gives Tobin a little puff, but this also foreshadows the death that is going to happen the next day, to where they raid the Savior's facility and kill most of them in their sleep and the rest of them in an attack. That next day, though, on their way as they stop to find some walkers to make it look like Gregory's head, Carol begins to smoke, and then she looks over at Maggie and then tosses her cigarette onto the ground. And once again, this represents the idea of Carol still struggling to figure out which side she wants to choose, if she wants to keep killing to save the group, or if she wants to go with the mentality of not killing and dropping the cigarettes as that symbolism of death, and then decides that she cannot kill anymore. Now, given the more recent episode titled Twice as Far, it begins showing Daryl and Carol, and she's smoking on the steps, and I think she gives Daryl a cigarette or a pack of cigarettes and gives it to him, and that represents the idea of her. She's sort of conflicted once again on what she wants to do, and whether she is going to continue killing people to save the group, or whether she is going to drop that idea. It then shows the repetitive scenes over and over and adds a different scene every time, but each time we see Carol gripping her cross necklace, she's on the swing swinging, and then we see her cigarettes in the ashtray, and then finally at the end of that episode, we see the swing swinging, but Carol is not on it this time, and then we see the cigarettes in the ashtray, and there's a bunch of them. I kind of wanted to reach farther into this and count the amount of cigarettes in the ashtray, and it looks as if there's around 15. I was hoping it would symbolize Carol's amount of kills by showing the amount of cigarette butts that were in the ashtray. That's what I would have done if I was a creator. I felt like that would be a really cool Easter egg to add in, just to put in a little Easter egg to symbolize the amount of people she has killed, and the cigarettes symbolizing death, therefore showing all of the deaths she has caused in that ashtray, and I thought that would be really cool. And you could assume that there are more under what we see on the surface in the ashtray, but I could be reaching here and I'm willing to admit that, but it's something to consider. However, let's move on to the fact that Carol is no longer on the swing. At the end of the episode, we saw that she left Tobin a note. Tobin relayed that note to Rick, and the note says that Carol is leaving. She cannot kill for these people anymore because she knows lately she has been hesitating to kill, and in turn, by her hesitation, it might end up causing another person to die, just like Carol's hesitation to kill Dwight ended up causing Denise to die, although it wasn't Daryl's fault completely. She doesn't want to kill for these people, but as long as she is around her loved ones, she is going to have to do it. And like I mentioned, this hesitation, she is also afraid that it would endanger the group, just like her hesitation in the same boat could have gone down a darker path, to where if she would have given Paula another chance, she might have either killed Carol or Maggie. Now that Carol has fully decided and announced her thoughts on killing, we see the cigarettes left alone on the swing away from Carol, as if she is dropping the idea of death. We see this constant symbolism of Carol smoking representing the idea that Carol is still willing to kill to save her members, but now she has given up on this idea, just like she has given up on these cigarettes, symbolizing the people she has killed and the death that has been caused by her. It is such an awesome use of symbolism, and in my opinion, this is why they tend to show cigarettes a lot in the episodes lately. And I really enjoy this because this is something that you can look on the surface and see, oh well, she's smoking a cigarette, nothing new. But if you're a person that likes to dive deeper into the story and into the plot, and into the characters themselves, you can see these things, and it's definitely something I appreciate as a viewer because they satisfy the basic audiences by showing these things that happen, but they also satisfy the more intelligent and more analytic audiences by diving deeper and putting things that you can notice if you look deeper. I really appreciate all of you all watching. It means so much to me, and make sure to write in the comments below of what you think about this subject. Is there anything you would like to add, and what is your opinion on this? I love interacting with you all and seeing what you have to say. Also, please make sure to leave a like on this video to show some support because I did try to go in very deep with this and recognize why it is showing all of these cigarettes and what they symbolize. So it would mean a lot if you leave a like on the video and express your appreciation for my work. Thanks again, guys. You all are awesome. I cannot believe I hit 10K recently. I was going for 10K at least before the finale ends, but I got it 2 episodes before the finale, which is absolutely insane, and I am so thankful for you all. Thanks again, guys. Peace out.